Hello and welcome! My name's Heather, I'm a Registered Professional Counsellor, and let's watch Love is Blind.
I'm so glad we talked it out before we came here, because coming into this apartment with, I don't know, just feeling really good about this,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Did you know I was stubborn?
Yeah, 100%. I can't say that though, you're killing it. Like you say all the time.
So it seems like they made up from the fight from when they were on the beach, and it sounds like Natalie had some time to reflect and she realized that maybe at times she can be a bit stubborn. And that's a good sign because it shows that she has a level of reflection and self-awareness, and she's able to realize oh, I am stubborn sometimes, and thank you for helping me realize that, because then this allows her to be able to recognize that in the future and be able to adjust those behaviors so that her and Shayne can find a way that they could both communicate, because he's also admitted that he could be stubborn and now she's also stubborn, and it's difficult when you have two people who are unwilling to see the other person's point of view or who are unable to recognize that, okay, maybe I need to compromise on some levels, but now they can both support each other and find ways to navigate both of their stubbornness. And it can also be an opportunity for them to recognize that maybe this is something that they could work on during couples counseling, because this can definitely be worked through, especially finding ways to communicate. One of the things that concerned me was that Shayne would get frustrated and upset so quickly and he would just up and leave Natalie. Again, those are definitely things that can be worked on. Before I forget, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for more analysis videos of Love is Blind.
Promise you'll never leave me.
Of course, I would never leave you. Don't leave me.
I would never.
So that's definitely a good sign, especially after a fight or a disagreement, that there's a lot of physical affection. We can also see that Natalie is also being we can also see that Natalie is also being verbally affectionate towards Shayne. So it's definitely a nice way to be able to make up after a fight. I think that there's definitely a huge misconception when it comes to fighting and relationships, because all couples fight, and it doesn't necessarily mean that couples who don't fight as much have more of a successful relationship compared to those who fight a bit more. What's important, and research has shown this, is how they navigate afterwards and how quickly they recover from the fights. So far, this is definitely showing a lot of promise, and hopefully moving forward, they can find more understanding towards each other. Hello, cutie pie. Yes, you agree, don't you? I don't know, can you guys hear her purring? She's really loud.
You're everything I wanted. Seriously.
Okay, so she's being more affectionate.
I love you too.
And she's definitely
And
being
I,
more
still can't believe it. We're gonna get
vocal.
married in 3 weeks.
I want one thing. I want to wear a tux cape. That's all I ask.
What's a tux cape?
What's a
It'll give
tux
me the
cape?
biggest wedding ring.
Okay, so that's definitely something that could be compromised in my opinion. Maybe if he showed her some pictures of what a tuxedo cape looks like, and maybe if he was able to convince her that he can get it in the same color that she wants the wedding to be. There's definitely compromise that can be done there. I hope that we do get to see him in a tuxedo cape, because I think that is a very reasonable request, and he said that was the only one thing that he wanted for the wedding.
Having this conversation gives me heartburn.
Go on.
I know that some people can be very particular about the details to their wedding, so it can be a form of stress, but I think this could be a good opportunity for Natalie to maybe she just needs some time to think about this tuxedo cape, and hopefully they could come to a conclusion that they're both happy with, because that it is both their weddings, and she just said that. Maybe she needs some time to accept it or to really come to terms with it before saying yes. Maybe she just doesn't really know what it is and she thinks it's this really hideous thing. I'm sure it looks nice. I don't know, maybe it's just me. When I had my wedding, I really didn't care about the details. I was just kind of go with the flow, and I had a general idea of what I wanted, but I wasn't very particular about every little thing about details and what people were wearing or the colors that much. I don't know, I just didn't really care that much. And it's okay if people do really care about it. I think it's important that you are able to work with your fiance about it. There might be some fiancés that really don't care about it and they want you to do all the planning. Hopefully they're able to find a solution that works for the both of them.
We need to sit down and look at our finance stuff, because I don't do that.
We need to be really aligned on numbers and what are our financial milestones and How much do we want in our 401k?
I don't really believe in 401ks.
What?
I guess that's where we are a little different. Like I take like taking risks.
So it's good to see that they're actually talking about finances, because this is definitely one of the biggest conflicts in couples is their differences in dealing with money. And it sounds like with Natalie and Shayne, they are very different in their financial goals or their relationship with money. And again, it's figuring out how to navigate that. I can definitely see this being a huge source of conflict in their relationship, because there's already some disagreements here and they're just talking hypothetically. But let's say if they do decide to buy a place, or if they have kids in the mix, then you also have this financial burden of how you're spending the money on these different areas. Hopefully they're able to find a way to, again, meet in the middle, or maybe they're just going to have to figure out a way to not combine their finances. There's different ways of navigating money and finances in a marriage and in a couple. And Natalie doesn't seem too concerned because she said that she has some savings and she's financially ready. So maybe she already thought about what it would look like to navigate and work with Shayne in terms of combining their ideas around finances. And maybe for her, she's going to have more of a stable, steady amount of savings or be more responsible with the money. And with Shayne, maybe he's going to learn a little bit from her, and maybe he can also chip in or start saving, or he's going to completely continue to do what he's doing, which is taking risks or spending $2,000 on food a month. Maybe they're going to have to talk to a financial advisor, or maybe they're going to have to come up with a compromise and figure out what it is that they're going to do moving forward, and maybe think about, different milestones or goals in a different way for both of them to be on board with.
I just love that about him, because I want to be like that.
So I feel like in movies and TV shows, we're constantly shown examples of people being completely opposite and then ending up together, and also the saying opposites attract. The only concerning thing is that just because opposites attract doesn't mean that they necessarily stick together. Of course, there are people who are completely opposite that have long-term, satisfying, happy relationships, but there's also a lot of research that shows that people who may have been attracted to someone who is completely opposite of them, again, like Natalie said, is because, I want to be more like that, or that's the type of person I want to be. In terms of personalities, we actually don't change that much. Even though we might be attracted to someone who is completely different, what tends to happen in the long run of things is that what we were once attracted to tends to be the main form of conflict. So for example, if one person is, let's say, very free-spirited and, they go with the flow, and then you have the other person who likes to have a plan, who follows rules, and let's say they're having disagreements, what tends to happen is if people are completely different from one another, and if they haven't found a way to work together, they get very polarized in their stance and in their personalities. And so the person who's a free spirit might feel that the other person is trying to control them, or that they're trying to take away their freedom. And the other person who is more of a planner feels that the other person is very irresponsible and that they don't really care about them or their future. It can definitely go both ways, where it may work and it can also not work at all. But again, it really comes down to how the couples work together, because research has shown that in terms of our core personalities, it doesn't necessarily change. Let's fast forward to what this relationship could look like 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road, or 20 years down the road. When they have more responsibility in the relationship, maybe they'll have kids, maybe they'll have properties that they have to share, maybe they do have to think about savings. And research has shown that people who are more similar tend to stay together and have more satisfying long-term relationships. So again, just some things to think about. And it's not to say that couples who are completely opposites aren't able to work. Again, really depends on the couples, but there are some research that may suggest that similarities in personalities may be better for the relationship.
Soy sauce with wasabi.
That's interesting. That's what you're supposed to do.
That is what you're supposed to
Why
do.
would you mix the palate cleanser with
No. The
soy
ginger's the palate cleanser.
No.
Wasabi and soy sauce goes together. Ginger is the palate cleanser. I don't eat any of them. I don't dip my sushi in soy sauce. I don't like wasabi, and I don't eat the ginger. I usually just eat the sushi rolls plain, and some of them already have sauce on it, so I don't feel the need to drench it in soy sauce. Is it weird that I don't eat my sushi with soy sauce and wasabi? Let me know how you guys eat your sushi. And also, this is sushi. Hi, her name is Sushi. Yes, Sushi, they're eating sushi. Ugh, you're such a distraction. You're distracting me from making my video.
Loser has to plan like a really fun date night.
Done.
Okay?
Okay, she's gonna have to plan a
Google
date
it.
night then.
Google it.
If you had made that emotional connection, and that's what it is.
Totally.
They seem to be
I mean,
all
aren't you
getting
glad I
along.
I just want her to be happy. That's
Wow.
what every mother wants, right?
Of course.
Her dignity, her honor, her respect is yours.
Yeah.
Wow, so this family gathering seems to be going really well. There's a lot of good communication, healthy communication, and we see from the mom, she says, you know, the most important thing is that my daughter is happy. What parent wouldn't want that? And it seems like they were also able to talk about how because of their culture, they were able to bond and how they have a deeper understanding. So it's really nice to see. And it's not like an interrogation that we've seen in past seasons or past family gatherings. Yeah, this is going super well.
Today is the day when I can say that this is what it is.
Aww. Wow, what a great family. Wow, they're very open and very vulnerable. It's really nice to see.
Girls throughout my life. I really, really want to truly understand how I can make her happy. I
Wow.
want to know, because I know she's not going to ask me.
They're being so open and so vulnerable. I absolutely love seeing this, and it seems like Shayk has really taken the relationship seriously. I know it was a little rocky before when he said he wasn't physically attracted to her and he goes back and forth, but it seems like he's making some strides in terms of accepting the relationship and being open to the marriage because he was a little worried about his commitment before. The fact that he's asking the family, I need to know what I can do to make Deepti happy, you know, that says a lot about his maturity and his commitment to the relationship. And I think the family sees that and they appreciate that. And like, it's just so great to see how open and vulnerable everyone is and that there's such clear functional communication. Like, it's just really nice to see. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more analysis videos like this. Thank you so much for watching and feel free to check out my other therapist reviews videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, be kind and love yourself.